Well, they are establishing, equipping, and mobilizing teams to carry out their mission to help change the lives of men behind bars. Joining me now, Kimberly Race with the Disciple Making Mission Program and the president of George Communications. Kimberly, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start by talking about this program, how it got started and exactly the mission of this program.
Right, so a lot of folks don't know about Disciple Making Mission. They're a pretty quiet group that just goes along and carries out the Great Commission. And what that means is they're making disciples and they're teaching others how to be a disciple maker. Now what that means is, for those that are familiar with the gospel of Paul and Timothy, they are teachers just like Paul. They bring Timothy's alongside of him, who is the student, and they teach the students to then become teachers. So they are making disciples so that they can go and disciple others. And what's so unique about this program is that they are also taking it into the prisons and teaching the students who are the prisoners to then become disciple makers themselves. And they are having just a phenomenal growth with the program. Walker State is so ecstatic about the change that they're seeing in these men's lives. They're talking about it throughout the state of Georgia, and there are other state penitentiaries who are asking Disciple Making Mission to come in and do the same, because they're seeing that it's not only life-changing, but it's also decreasing the amount of men who come back to prison. So the recidivism rate is going down.
I was going to say that was one of the things in kind of looking up, because I was not familiar with this program, and that was one of the things that they pointed out in here, is talking about the recidivism rate going down and how you don't see those repeat offenders. And one of the things, Kimberly, we've often heard is that so many people repeat these cycles because you're not teaching them anything when they're there. So when they get out, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to function. They fall back on what they were doing before. And then this cycle, this vicious cycle just repeats. Repeats. And so this is what you all are doing to say, you know what, let's stop this.
Right.
So that you're in here now, but we want to teach you and we want to help you.
Right.
And so tell me how they're doing that.
Yeah, they're making true life change. Again, they're teaching them how to be a disciple maker. So in order to do that, you need to better understand the gospel and what Christ has to offer to completely change your life around, but then also how to teach that to others. So not only is the recidivism rate going down, where they're not re-entering the penitentiary or the jail system, but they're also teaching their sons. They're becoming better fathers and husbands, and it's truly changing generations because of what they are learning. Now, the men who are the volunteers who go in and teach the program also bring along volunteers with them. And when they do a commissioning service, this is once they've completed the program and now these students are able to become the teachers. They do a commissioning program, and when they do that, they feed all of the prisoners. And so they have a commissioning service in front of the entire prison.
To share this program, and one of the things I think you all did one recently where you fed about 400 people.
Exactly, that's about how many prisoners that are there. And so we go in, we feed them a great meal. We had fried chicken and potato logs, and they had, almost the whole chicken, for all of them. We were able to provide that. But they are able to be loved on and shown just really what it is to be the hands and feet of Christ, and then to see their fellow inmates graduating or being commissioned from this program. It makes them more interested in, well, what is that? I did notice a change in, my friend.
Yeah,
I want to be more like that.
Let me find out more about this program, because I think recently you all had about 12 graduate from the program. Okay, so now, and one of the things too, so how long is the program? Like, how long are they in this program? Is it?
Right, so it's typically about 90 days. It's about a 12-week program to go, start to finish. Of course, sometimes with holidays and scheduling, it could go a little bit longer, but it's about a 12-week program. Now, it's not just offered to prisoners; it is offered to the church, and we do have the same disciple-making program being done in the community. But what's just so amazing, again, like I said, is that they're making such a difference in Walker State that the other Georgia state penitentiaries are noticing and now want Disciple Making Mission to go into their prisons.
To say, how can you help the men here in our facility as well? so that we can start, and one of the things too, when you see these programs that are changing the lives of the prisoners there, you see, like you said, their behavior, like some of them you hear about things happening there behind bars, but their behavior change, their attitude changes. And like you said, the whole thing of when they get out, so they're not passing that behavior along to their children, and especially men to sons, where you see that, like, my dad was in prison, the son was in prison, and following in those footsteps. So you want to stop that.
Right, they're breaking those generational chains. And what we've also seen is these men, when they are released, they're continuing the program to the men around them, where they live or maybe where they go to church. And so they're continuing to be a disciple maker. They're continuing to be a teacher, looking for students who want to learn to then become the teacher and teach the gospel message.
Well, again, we're going to let people know about this program and put all the information up so that people can get this information if they're interested or would like them to maybe participate, like I said, to a group of men at their church or somewhere. So we'll have that on there. Kimberly George Race, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It takes the community support, both with volunteerism and donations, to make this happen. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you as well.